you just will never be able to reach your full stature if you're not willing to go through processes that allow you to see the truth about yourself. And I'm at a place now where, you know what, I think my greatest fear is not just seeing the truth about myself. It's everybody else being able to see it but me.
Ooh.
Like, that's a greater horror to me.
Yeah.
For me to be living in this world.
That's powerful, man.
Where I'm thinking it's good, straight.
Yeah.
And everybody else can see, man, he's this, he's
Mercy.
that, he's failing in this area, he's flawed. But what he's projecting is not in alignment with the reality. So I would rather be a self-clear person than to be a self-deceived person.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Welcome to Breathe.
Hey, boom.
Fellas.
We in the house.
We got
Pastor
that down
Snell.
now.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean, we got that thing down.
David Person. Yeah, I think I was the one holding this back.
Yeah.
It was the explosion part. I was always late on that. And you all would, I could feel feel the heat coming from you all like, oh man, how many times do we have to do this until you get it right?
Get it right. Yeah.
My man, David, you in there now, brother?
Yeah, I'm
You in there. You in the rhythm.
Completely
You in
locked
the
in.
rhythm.
That's
Well, you
it.
know, the whole fist bump thing was kind of,
Yeah.
that's your generation.
Generation. Yeah.
It's not my generation. So, you know, I was a little slow on that.
It's all good.
But, welcome to Breathe.
Welcome,
We're glad that you're
welcome.
with us here on another
Absolutely.
Monday. You know, we are in the series now, and you know we love series here.
Right.
Relational wellness. That's
Relational
what we're
wellness.
talking about.
Yeah.
And last episode, we talked about apologies, saying I'm sorry. And I hope that some of y'all did the homework and tried to apologize and get some things right. And not just apologize, but accepting some apologies.
Yeah.
too,
That's true.
right?
That's
And-
true.
and
That's a good
getting,
point.
you know,
That's a good
getting-
point. Yeah.
Getting some things right with the people that you really know you love,
Yeah.
even though you may have some disagreements, some hurts, whatever. And so now we're kind of moving in the direction now of how do you even get to that place, and the way you do it is through self-examination.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk about
Yeah,
today.
absolutely.
Self-examination, or another word, Pastor, for it is introspection.
Introspection.
Right?
Introspection. Yeah.
So when you think about self-examination, introspection, what are you thinking about? What is this process?
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
But I think it's just finding enough solitude to really draw clarity about the trends, the habits, and the patterns in my life.
Yeah.
It's just kind of just saying, okay, what are my spiritual patterns looking like? What are my relational patterns looking like? What are my health patterns looking like? If I could probably, man, I think it's the process of just looking in the mirror. And, you know, I think there are times where we treat introspection or self-evaluation like this event. Like I need to go off into the wilderness, you know, into the woods and just have 40 days to evaluate things, right? But, physically, you know what you do? You look in the mirror every day.
You do.
You look in the mirror
You do.
daily, probably, depending on kind of, what your life rhythm is, a couple times a day.
times. Yeah.
And I do think that, if I want to reach my full stature in Christ, as a husband, as a friend, as a brother, as a coworker, I do think that, emotionally, you probably need to look in the mirror with a certain amount of consistency. Because even, let's just say I look in the mirror at the start of the day and I start out, I'm neat, I'm fresh, I'm clean, but in the course of standing up, sitting down, moving, getting in and out of the car, some things may get out of alignment, my tie may get a little pulled or yanked and so on and so forth. So I just think that, kind of emotionally, there probably needs to be not like a maddening manic, constantly evaluating of self, but just enough of a rhythm to kind of make sure, okay, I'm straight. I'm moving in the right direction. My patterns are going to lead me to the appropriate outcome.
Yeah.
Because, I think with pretty good consistency, a lot of us wake up at a certain time, or we have certain things that happen, and you kind of say to yourself, how did I get here?
Yep.
Like, how did I wind up here? And I just think that if there is not enough evaluation, I just think by nature we drift. We kind of, when you're not looking at our habits, our patterns, you just wind up at a destination that you didn't intend to be at.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a series of videos I was checking out. Because I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he's from Harvard, and he was talking about the practice of solitude, but specifically silence.
Yeah.
And he was saying there's a mechanism in our brains that doesn't ever get triggered unless we have silence. And so when we're scrolling, or if we're listening to a podcast on the run or on the drive or on the commute, we have this something going that's activating the brain, and we're processing all the time. But when we don't, we begin to try to reconcile imbalances. So, that conversation didn't go too well.
Yeah.
You never get that trigger doesn't happen unless you have moments of silence. Man, probably need to make a change in the way that I'm presenting, like as a public speaker. I'm saying across the board, if you never get a chance to do reflection, you can't even, even as a preacher, you don't even get a chance to think through, like, I could have said that a little bit differently. Maybe you could have had that conversation a little bit differently. Maybe that's what she was saying. Maybe that's what my son was trying to.
Yeah.
You never get a chance to go a little bit deeper if you don't have any time in your day. And unfortunately, in current society, the way with social media and everything else, it doesn't lend itself to us having those moments. But that's where, and from as a coach, that's where innovation happens.
Yeah.
That's reflection.
True. Yeah.
Reflection is where innovation happens. Reflection. And I dare say any high performing individual, doesn't matter if it's athlete, finance, CEO, they watch film. Film just looks different.
Yep. That's right.
And sometimes film may not be actually press rewind and press play. Film is just, how did the day go? And a quick check-in. How did that day go? I really don't like how that interaction went with my supervisor or work. I think I missed a moment there with my son.
Yeah.
Those check-in moments, deep insight.
Deep insight, yeah.
And it allows you an opportunity to identify where things may have gone well even. Man, you know what? That result was better than I anticipated. Maybe I can do that again. I picked up a rose for the wife, and I didn't realize that was gonna. My goodness, that helped me out today. Right. And so it's reinforcing the things that went well, but then getting an opportunity to be like, that didn't serve me. And now I have an opportunity to course correct. Or incorporate it into my regular baseline. So
and can I add, I think as we are a believing community, I think self-examination or introspection is not just me sitting with my own thoughts or becoming my own barometer, but I think it's also inviting the assessments of the Holy Spirit into your life.
There it is.
Psalms 129 in verse 23 and 24 says, "Search me, God, and know my heart.
That's good.
Test me and reveal my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me."
That's good.
"And lead me in the way of the everlasting." Just because I do think that, we all, not most, we all operate with blind spots. We all kind of have some things, like there are certain parts of your body you physically can't reach.
That's it.
To scratch even your own back.
Come on.
There's certain parts of you can't reach. Certain parts of you can't even see. And I just think that, part of meaningful fruit-producing self-evaluation is really, as you sit and find that solitude and that silence, inviting, the Spirit of God to do the searching, to do the leading, and to provide that clarity. Because, the Bible, through Jeremiah says, man, that the heart is deceitfully wicked. And it really kind of goes on to say, who can know it? Meaning, not you can't even really know what's in your own heart.
Mercy.
Outside of the illuminating presence of God's Spirit. And so I think that needs to be a critical component of introspection and evaluation, is saying, okay, Lord, I need you to be a part of this assessment process.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Reflection is good. Finding quiet moments is ideal. I wonder how you feel about maybe moments, I'll call them secondary moments, like maybe when you're in the shower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's not quite quiet, but you know, it's probably close to quiet, right?
Yeah, no, I love the shower. I love
In the car?
I sometimes drive with nothing, but also cutting the grass. I don't know what it is. I think I've said this before, but I don't know what it is. But there's the phone. I can't have the phone with me. I can't. I'm just cutting the grass, and I'm telling you, it's my mind goes, and it goes to places that maybe sometimes I wouldn't have gone before, and I get ideas there. And sometimes I think through, I process different scenarios and situations there as well. I think those secondary moments are absolutely just as critical. But I think the only thing that they lack is an intentionality. Whereas I think what we're talking about, when we're talking about self-examination, we're talking about specifically carving out moments in the day as a part of your regular rhythm where you can really sit and ponder some of these things.
And so to that point, I do think it's just saying, okay, and again, this is probably not going to be a 2-hour endeavor.
No.
Right.
But just kind of maybe budgeting.
That's it.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
At the start of the day or at the end of the day. But I just think the key is intentionality. Because I think, that shower on the drive, cutting the grass, that's bonus. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That should be additional, But I just think kind of setting aside time to kind of really, to just kind of be still and just kind of think through the day so you can adjust, course correct, kind of read the transcript of your mind, of the conversation you had with your spouse, with your children, and how could I have said that better? Like this morning, I had a 30-minute dialogue with my youngest son about some things. So I got here, so I had about 30 minutes before we came in here. Just had about 15 minutes. I saw you when I came in, and I was just like, okay, all right. When I get home, I want to clarify the way I said a certain thing. Because we're talking about in the context of relational wellness, like because my intentions were this.
Yes,
this was my goal, the end game.
Right.
But but there are times, it's so funny. With my youngest son, he's really tall and really big, but he's 10.
Yeah.
And there are times where I'm talking to him according to his size, and not his age.
Wow.
And
That's a great
I have
point.
to kind of catch myself from time to time, like. Because he just wants to play. He just wants to play. And I'm talking to him like he's a man, and that's where he's, and I'm trying to kind of project who I want him to be or who he's supposed to become. But I have to let me go back and just kind of put that in the context of a 10-year-old's
Is he had a growth
process.
spurt? Is he almost as tall as you are now? Or?
The
last time I saw him,
he's kind of right here.
Oh, wow.
He's tall.
Yeah, he's tall.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
When you said 10, I was like, man, that's
Yeah,
man.
I didn't. Okay, okay.
Yeah, he's
okay.
tall. But I love that, and I think there's a component here that I'm actually interested to hear your thoughts in terms of how do you incorporate another voice in that process as well. So the self-examination, of course, is our topic, but where does a counselor fit into that? Where does a counselor, a coach, or a sounding board, a safe space, but somebody who's vested in your success, and you can kind of process some things through with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
I think that is a needed part of the process. Now I don't think you just randomly just start kind of going to anybody and say, hey, what do you think? So on and so forth, But I think part of it is, you've got to give people permission to be truthful with you, not hurtful, but truthful.
Yeah.
So I think, in some settings, perhaps it is a counselor. For me, it is in some ways it's my spouse.
Yes.
My parents, I'm blessed to still have both my parents living, and they can, they speak truthfully.
As parents do.
But I think part of it is just saying, hey, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel like, Gianna, you feel like I'm saying this too harshly? You feel like, how do you feel like I said that with the kids? How do you feel? I just think you
There's a
kind of
check-in.
need that,
Yeah.
because so we talked about looking in the mirror.
Yeah,
You realize in some ways your relationships are a mirror as well.
that's true.
And kind of how they're functioning says a lot. And that's why sometimes you need to kind of seek their assessment as
good.
well of, okay,
That's
how,
good.
how do you feel like, we're moving? How do you feel like we're doing? So on and so forth. And they need to be able to have the permission to kind of say whatever is true.
That's good.
I really love the way this conversation has evolved. We've started with self-reflection, taking time to being intentional
Yeah.
about finding quiet time to reflect. We've talked about secondary moments that can also be helpful, though they shouldn't be. Again, there's a reason I said secondary.
Secondary,
and
that's
not
true.
primary.
Not
Yeah.
primary. I agree.
We've talked about the power and importance of incorporating other voices into this process, starting, of course, with the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
But moving
Yes.
also
Yes.
into other people
Yeah.
who we can see and hear in a different way than we experience God. And I think, especially with that one, the word that came to my mind while I was listening to you talk was humility. Because it takes some humility to go to someone else and say, I'm wondering about this. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because ego wants you to just say, "Oh, I just said
here.
everything
I'm
right.
here.
I did everything right. I don't
Yeah.
need any correction."
Yeah.
Right?
That's the truth.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about process now. So I know for myself, some of my primary reflective moments come in the morning, first thing,
Yeah.
sometimes as a prelude to my devotional time with God, or sometimes during my
During
devotional
midst of
time
it.
with God. Is that the way it works for you all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm kind of a morning person. That's
Yeah.
where
I am as well.
I tend to have a little bit more clarity about things. It's where I'm a little bit more settled and clear in my thinking. So the time I budget for that is going to be earlier in the day. Kind of like once I hit that 6 o'clock hour, and my batteries are on E, I'm not hearing well. Just a little. I'm just kind of ready to end the day. So kind of early is with me. But I just think just kind of having a certain rhythm for check-in with others.
Yeah.
And just kind of, and I think that can look different to every person. But I probably, I don't know. I feel like, and I don't know, I probably have to ask her just to be sure. But probably once or twice a month, I kind of say, hey, G, how do you feel like I'm doing with this, or with the kids, or with, how you feel like I'm managing things? Because there are times where she will say, man, you seem really stressed right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking I'm peaking. I'm thinking I'm moving.
Let's go.
You seem irritable and so on and so forth. And I'm just kind of like, is that the energy I'm giving off? Is that what I'm communicating? Is that what you're seeing? Where in my mind, it's focus.
Yeah.
It's determination. It's, I got this next appointment, this assignment, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I'm because she's giving me those kind of assessments with some frequency, I'm checking in, trying to be a little bit more proactive than reactive, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I do think, and I think you kind of shared it as well, especially for what you described for today. There are those moments in the day where I do kind of replay, especially a recent incident, a recent conversation, a recent interaction. Sometimes I'll just replay it, and maybe I don't get a chance to process everything right there, but it is part of my regular rhythm to reflect, especially when it's fresh. And then maybe that's something I need to go back to. Definitely, I'm a morning person as well, so I budget time in the morning to really think through some things. But I do like a recap at night, How did that go today? And I may not be able to process all of it until I get up in the morning. When I'm fresh, when I'm rested, there's just a lot more mental capacity you have to be able to grapple with some complex things. But I do have that check-in in the evening. But then also, just like you, man, spouse is definitely a reflector. I try to make sure the kids have latitude to be able to share some things with me as well.
Sure.
Parents definitely will call and affirm at times, but also call and be like, I need to tighten up on some things here. So there are those relationships I think are necessary But I also do highly recommend having some, either a coach or a professional, somebody that you can go to that can help you to really see some things from a different angle, different vantage point. Yeah.
What about journaling? Do you
Oh, yeah.
incorporate that into?
Totally forgot about
your
that.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm glad you did as well.
So it's funny. You know where I keep mine? I journal in my phone now, just because in my little notes.
Right.
That's kind of where I write down thoughts and revelations and man, because I think what happens is when you don't write things down, you'll lose it.
Yeah, it's gone.
You'll forget it. You'll just the rhythm of life will take over, and because I think if you don't write things down, they become cycles.
Yeah.
Like if you don't write it down, it's just going to become a habit. It's going to become cemented. And then you're just going to look up and say, man, again, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And so I think, writing things down, I think it's the crystallizing of thoughts. And I just think we're more accountable personally to the things we write, not just to the things we think. Because we're flooded with a number of different things.
Yeah.
And so I think, people don't usually see writing things down as an action step. But I think your first action step really in anything is writing things down.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I remember the old folks used to always say, put it on paper.
Yeah.
Put it on paper. That makes it real.
That makes it real.
Tangible.
Yep.
And something that you can
That's
hold yourself
very good. Yeah.
accountable. To help you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we've covered a lot here today. Any final thoughts?
Well, the one thing I will say is I think one of the reasons self-evaluation is critical is this. How do I want to say this? I think it is the key to growth. Again, so you talked about using film, and I'll be honest with you, man, seeing the truth about yourself is just hard. It is just hard. Like I think that's the one thing I probably want to say to our audience. It's not just hard for you; it's hard for humanity. To be able to see the truth about yourself.
Yes.
So do you know what the hardest part of so contextualize? I'm a preacher. I preach sermons.
Right.
You know what the hardest part of sermon preparation, delivery, growth is? It's not studying for it. It's not writing it. It's not saying it. It is on a Monday or Tuesday watching it.
Yeah.
And there are things that, man, so it's kind of weird. This whole weird thing we talked before. Like I hate the sound of my own voice. But there are times where it's just kind of like, man, that wasn't as clear as I intended it to be.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. But it is that painful process. Like my wife is a beautiful singer, but she hates listening to the sound of her own self sing.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy to me because I'm just like,
She's got a gorgeous voice.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But I just think, because I think what we see is kind of, what we see is flaw. What we see is kind of where we need to correct, so on and so forth. But I just think that, but it is seeing, okay, man, how fast you're talking, right? That's diluting, the power of that thought. When you're being this whatever, it's making things unclear. So what I'm saying is you just will never be able to reach your full stature if you're not willing to go through processes that allow you to see the truth about yourself. And I'm at a place now where, I think my greatest fear is not just seeing the truth about myself. It's everybody else being able to see it but me.
Ooh.
Like that's a greater horror to me.
Yeah.
For me to be living in this world.
That's powerful, man.
Where I'm thinking it's good, straight.
Yeah.
And everybody else can see, man, he's this, he's
Mercy.
that, he's failing in this area, he's flawed. But what he's projecting is not in alignment with the reality. So I would rather be a self-clear person than to be a self-deceived person.
Mercy. Yeah, the only I don't. This is and as a content creator, there's a lot of video.
Yeah, a lot of video.
and you got to watch back video. In fact, one of the things I was talking to somebody yesterday, I was like, "How often do you watch your own podcast?" And he's like, during the edit, I'm like, "Nah, bro, you need to really watch that thing." So. But the only other thing, it's difficult. But the only other thing I would add there, Doc, because I agree with you 5,000%, is you don't want to be the last one to find out. But also, I don't want to watch 5 years ago version and see today's version
no growth.
And there's no growth.
No growth. Yep.
Great
that
point.
part. That's a good word.
Great point.
That's powerful. Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So evaluation, family, it is not just hard for you.
No.
It's hard for everybody, but it is critical.
Yeah.
And it's a growth activity.
It's a growth activity. Yeah.
When we started this, I'll confess, a song popped into my head. Michael Jackson's "Man in the Mirror."
Man in the mirror.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
Probably my favorite Michael Jackson song, honestly.
Man in the mirror. Yeah.
You know, there's a lyric here, and I pulled them up. He said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
I'm asking him to change his way.
Come on.
And no message could have been any clearer.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make the world a better place, then look at yourself
And make the change.
and make this change.
Yeah,
Come
That's
on.
it.
Man, you got some folk backsliding right now here, David. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
come
it.
on.
They doing the
good
moonwalk. Oh, Lord.
Never mastered that. by the way.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mastered that. I
no.
always look at people that do that and think, that's incredible.
Oh,
How
my
are you doing
word.
that?
Man in the
But,
mirror.
the
That's
man in the
amazing.
mirror.
That's amazing.
So let's look at the man or the woman, the person in the mirror,
Amen.
and do some introspection
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Let's do some self-reflection. Let's see where, in conjunction with God and perhaps a trusted loved one or a trusted coach or therapist, we can see, or mentor, we can see how to better ourselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
better our relationships. Again, you know, this is all about relational wellness. So we want to better our relationships, and self-examination is a part of that. Don't be intimidated by the process. Just stop,
Yeah.
pray, and breathe.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.